a Hoover. An upright Hoover of unknown working condition. It runs, apparently, but doesn't run well. Can we, I don't quite know how many Turbopower Juniors we have done now, but could we perhaps perk it up, do something with it, make it sound a little bit better? So let's get it out, work out how it sounds now, see if there's any improvements, see what other stuff we find, and yeah, have a look. Yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner and Hoover Turbopower Junior, by the looks of it, electricity board special. How are you today? We'll have a look at that in a second. Yes, this came my way from a subscriber who we've done vacuums for before. So yeah, doesn't sound great. Can we make it sound greater? And I'm pretty sure we can. I have a sneaking suspicion that we'll be alright, even if we need many spare parts, because I do still have quite a few Turbopower Junior spare parts. And yeah, it's been split, that's good. The bag smells quite clean actually, so I don't quite know if we need to do a full refurb on this, or if it's just, you know, having a look at it and getting it to run better. Oh, the wheel just fell off though. That's, well, I say annoying, I think it's just missing its circlip. Oh, I was expecting them to see that all smashed off. Turbopower wheels do not post well. If you can, try and take them off. Or what I do is I'll get some like jiffy bags, big envelopes, and I'll bubble wrap the machine and I'll tape them over the wheels so that they've got the best chance of survival. So, okay, if it's just a circlip, we've got some of those. Let's have a look. That's what I was having a look at. It's ratings page U1222 from January, February, March, April, May 1988. So a year younger than myself and probably in better condition as well. We have a brush roll. There is some sort of belt attached to it. Oh, we're missing the bottom cord hook and I haven't got any in that colour. And even then, they never fit quite the same. They won't do that click, but we might have to see what we can do about that. Ah, there is the washer from the rear wheel too. We may even find the circlip, but that would have pinged off inside the wheel and I don't hear it rattling, and I've got some of those, so it doesn't fully matter. Right, so the next problem is finding the handle bolt, but here it is, hiding in the bag. Oh, actually, next to a genuine Hoover belt. I hadn't really looked at the packaging. It's a bit nondescript. Yeah, genuine Hoover belt. I'd imagine we need to get that fitted as well while we're here. Right, we need to loop the cable so it sort of stuffs up inside of there. Pop the handle bolt into the front, like, come on, like so, and then around the back, fiddle the bag out of the way. There we go. And I'll screw that all in. Yeah, there we go. Look, I found a whole packet of them, all little wheel circlips. So we're going to cut off the, I don't think it's even been opened, it's got a staple on it, but I don't think it was to seal the bag up, although we're going to do that in a minute. Open this carefully, and then, well, we just need one. Are we going to just get one out? We're going to get any out. Come on, I don't want to destroy this bag. There we go. So, fold our vacuum over. Crikey, it's been a minute since I fitted a Hoover Turbopower wheel to one of these. Oh, where did the washer go? There it is. Washer. Wheel, I've already taken the trim piece off. Then, oh no, I put that circlip down. There it is. Sit the circlip just in its gap. And then you're not really going to see much, but all I'm doing is just popping the circlip out of its place. Now, all I'm doing is pushing the circlip onto the end of the axle, and there we go. Hoover part number 618293. I could sell these for £10 a pop if there was any interest, but this is the sort of thing that gets stapled back up and sits in my parts boxes, ready for when situations like this arise. Like anybody need a Hoover Junior screw or a Hoover Aqua Master switch thing or a Junior wheel spring, yeah, we've got everything. Right. So now that he has a wheel, but you do have to be very sure that everything clicks down, because if you drop this, I'll cry. Right, so we have ourselves a running and driving Hoover Turbopower Junior. We can pop the wheel back on and look to do something about this. And the quickest way that I can find out of this hole is to go and grab an open package of H4 bags. What I have, they have a Turbopower boost manual in them. Whatever did happen to that? I think I've got rid of it. Okay, I've got a Turbopower boost manual. This is why I always get quite excited about random packs of bags. I mean, I've had this one for years and just got excited. This is usually where the owner might keep the manual. The amount of times that I just looked inside of a pack of bags that came with something and found things like the original manual. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't have that anymore. I mean, if anybody has one, we could come to an agreement. Yeah, paper bag, mainly for testing purposes, also because why not? Didn't have a bag in it to start with. There, I found a bag clip of unknown origin, but it doesn't matter. A bag clip is a bag clip. It's all very old-fashioned anyway. I wouldn't recommend doing this. I'd just go buy nice HEPA bombs. And there, that's it. Right, let us turn it on and see what horrors await. Okie dokie then. It's been a minute since we've turned on a proper Hoover Turbopower, isn't it? So let's plug him in and switch him on. It's not bad, but equally no, it's not good either. Yeah, I'm going to ignore the smell, because I think that's actually whatever was used to wash this bag rather than burning stuff. It runs, it's okay. What I think is that the bearings are just worn out and everything's just clean, and possibly the top fan is full of junk. I think we should assume the position and get the motor out and see just how bad it is. Okie dokie, so it runs, it didn't explode, it's unplugged again. Time to get it apart. And yeah, this is why I just fitted a paper bag, because it's all about to come out anyway. In here we have two big screws for the bag tube, which comes out first. There's also two clips with this, which will come out later, whether you want them to or not. There we go. And, we may as well remove the bag fill tube from the bag. Ooh, I hope that's not a sign of things to come. Oh, I haven't got my screw card. Then we can lift up the base plate, which is a little bit broken. It should have a piece of plastic that goes to the front and the back, but they're okay without it. You could probably find a better base plate, but equally nothing wrong with that one at all. Right, let's lift the brush roll out. Oh, it feels a bit iffy. I wonder if I've got any, it's all loose. That's a bit better. Don't think that was our issue anyway, though. I mean, that probably didn't help. Perhaps we should have a look at that as well. But what we need to do now is then remove these two screws here. This one worryingly at an angle. Oh dear. And then flip it back over. There come the screws. And we can take off this. No. And the hood should just lift off. Why is the hood not lifting off? The screw is out. There we go. Oh, what the? I was there for a second. No, I don't think I can. Oh my goodness! What is hot glue to the hood? There you go. That I can show you that now. Yeah, that is what it says it is. What on earth is that? Avoid contact with all surfaces. Yeah, I can. It's been hot glued though. But there's another one. Mr. Song, someone's been in here before. Another one. What the? I wasn't expecting this. What? There's even the little hanging thing. The little hanging thing. That's why it smells so utterly disgusting. Although it does have its genuine original, well, an original Hoover bulb, which will put that very safely as well. So, right then, Mr. Zong, I'm dreading to think where we're going to find you now. Armature looks okay. I'm a bit premature going straight for there actually, although I'm very glad we did. What we now got to do is take out, because obviously we're going to be pulling the motor from this. I can't imagine Mr. Zong put any of his you-know-what wax anywhere near the bearings. I'm actually now paranoid that he's shoved 4 or 5 under here. This then, oh no, there's no more, thank goodness, yeah. That's why this bag stinks. I mean, it doesn't smell of dirt. It doesn't even really smell of washing powder. It smells of these. Right. Then we can push the bellows out of the trunnion. And now we are about done with up there. We can flip this around, unplug the wires from the motor, then undo the clampy clamp. Then with the clampy clamp off, the motor will pull out like so. Yeah, nobody's been this deep for a while. Okay, so the fans are here. I think it's just these bearings, bless it. And yeah, I was right. The inside of there isn't the worst I've seen. Oh wow. So fair enough, cool. There we go. We'll give it a quick refurb. Yeah, so let me readjust and we'll crack on with the motor. So here is our little turbo power motor. The first thing that we're going to do is cut the cable tie. And experience tells me that this does look like the genuine Hoover cable tie. So that could tell us a few things. Then we can just carefully roll off the bellows of the screwdriver out the other end. There we go. Yeah, here comes all of the dirt that fills up that seal, and then it effectively blows it apart a little bit, and that's what then lets the dust come out. Look, it all gets packed up in the bottom of there. So this is why we wash these things. Next we can take out the little light bulb. Then from the motor side you need to sort of keep a slight check on which way around it goes. So I normally take a photo showing this poking out and then the wires, and stick a blob of Sharpie on that side, because again then I can get the coil rotated the right way, although I've done enough of them that I feel fairly confident. But again, it could be, well, it will be a couple of days until I get this back together again. I'll have a lot of day job work to do, so it always does help to take detailed notes. Then we can take the loom out and pop that out of the way. Right, time to release however many clips this has. 3. I always find it varies. Have you ever paid attention to how many clips a turbo power motor housing has? Oh, this screwdriver's not very good for this. Have you found a pattern or not? There we go. Then we can take our fan unit apart, and again the crud builds up in here and again blows the joint apart just enough for all the fine dust that this will pick up when working well comes out. Although, that's not too bad. The fan is okay. We now need, yes, I did get it ready, a flathead screwdriver, because at the back of a Turbopower armature is a slot, and righty-loosey, lefty-tighty, the fan will spin off nicely. Yeah, that's a decent fan. Is it genuine? I think it is. Looks genuine, looks fine. I don't think anybody's been in here before. Are you going to pop out? No, you're not going to pop out. There is another couple of washers in there, but don't need to worry about those just yet. Then, there are 4 screws holding the motor housing together. Oh, and here we go, pull them apart. There they are. There's the 2, yeah, there's the 2 washers that come out from the fan. Oh, yeah, out you come screws. Out you come motor, and that's not too bad. I think it's the beginnings of it. It's that's a bit worn out, bless it, and there's another one somewhere as well. So yeah, that's not a bad armature at all. The only other things in this top bit are the felt anti-rattle shim, the little washer, and the little spring. Again, all chucked in there. You can go in the wash. You will stay there for now until we pull the bearing off. Right. Coil is held on with spade connectors at the top of the carbon, which I can't really show you, but yeah, I can put the screwdriver in either side like that very easily and just unplug them, because if you yank on them, they then bend up all of the carbons, and that's not great. This is grim, but acceptable. You know, this thing is literally 10 months younger than me. It's probably far cleaner than I am. And then we can pull our brushes out from the inside. Yeah, genuine Hoover carbon brushes with genuine vintage dirt on them as well. Now, I hate this bit. This little copper tab is so fragile, and you've got to lift it up at some point. I find it easier to do it right at the beginning when it's all nicely in place. Yeah, you've just got to be so careful because it snaps. See how slowly I'm doing it. Do it so it's opening up. Then you push down that tab in there, and the brush holder pulls out. You can then push that locking tab back up, then this one up, because that helps to stick the coil back down. And then as long as that tab is above the level of there, leave it. Be very careful, because yeah, you've got to put the brushes in from the edge. If it does snap, you just squeeze the sides together on the spring, and all isn't really that lost. Yeah, so I just do it because it is easier to not. Right, I'm closing my eyes as I'm doing this, but without too much trouble. Ow. There you go. This is where you close your eyes. Without too much trouble, this little fella pops out. Then, should just be able to push quite easily. He says, not being able to push quite easily. There we go. The fan case bearing out. Ah, yes. This is just seized up. So that's good. We can fix that for sure. There is a little metal sort of bush in there, which sometimes comes out, sometimes doesn't. It just depends on how it feels. So that's a perfectly savable motor, I think. Let's have a look at this. Because although I'm lacking brand new bearings, I do have quite a few used ones, and it might be okay. Yeah, it's been used for some powdery gunk. But I mean, it's on the edge. I would class that as okay, but I've seen better. This has been off before as well, because there was a chip missing off of this end cap. So who knows what happened to it. Oh, it still has its anti-rattle shims. That's cool. Oh, you're going to undo by hand. I was about to have to go and get some tools. Yeah, okay. They're okay, I think. I mean, they're clean. That's good, because what I'm hoping I can do is just smush some oil in there and get it all nicely sorted out. Oh, there goes our anti-rackle pads on there. Then you've got to sort of knock out the other side. There we go. Knock out the other side. Oh, the bearing came out as well. Fab. I had to smash it with a hammer. Yeah, they're not too bad. I think a bit of a swoosh around and some brake cleaner and some fresh grease is probably going to tidy them up. And I think, because I'm about to wash the motor anyway, we'll give this brush roll a wash to get all the gunk off of the bristles and hopefully make it a little bit stiffer as well. So yeah, that is mechanically how you strip down a Turbopower Junior. Come back when it's all ready to go back together. A short time later, we have, oh, not even in the full shot, we have everything we need. There we go, oh, whatever, to put our Hoover Turbopower 1 motor back together. And this is in the order of the motor, roughly, but it is not in the order that we are going to be starting it with. We need to put the carbon brush holders back in, like so. Click, and then bend up these tabs ready to take the coil. So there's one there, then there's one here. Just push it through and don't put any pressure on that end bit there. We haven't broken it yet. There's still time there. So there we go, those two like that. Then, well, then we need a bearing, and here is, no wait, you're the one that wasn't seized. I can't remember which one was and which one wasn't seized now, but that's the seized bearing, that's the under-seized bearing. We don't want any of that. What we want to do is to come here into the bearing box. Yeah, they're the wrong size bearings. They're Dyson brush roll bearings. These are Hitachi brush roll bearings. But what we need is, oh, we're getting low, 2 of these. 608ZZ. There we go. They sit in there like so, and we can fit one into here. It will just push in with your fingers like so, but equally you can take the commutator and push it in, well, the armature, and push it in nicely like so. Then take the spring clip and it just pushes very nicely back down indeed. Don't slip and smash through your bearing, because that's very annoying when that happens. Then, oh, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to check my photo to remember which way that was oriented. It's blue to this way here. This is how I orient Dyson Hoover Turbopower motors. So it would be that way around because this only goes here. What I'm doing now is trying to drop the spade terminals semi-nicely onto the clips. And if you sort of bend them around, you can, there we go, that's lining up more now. You can, yeah, do an all right job. Get it, come on, get it on. Oh, that's too high now, that's why. First one's not as bad because you've got the entire width of things to play with. There's one. I can get my fingers inside of the coil, but yeah, this one's more difficult because I've now got to bend the bit of metal. But eventually, there we go, you'll get it seated and the coil will sit down with these two wings going into the casing like so. What we can do next is actually move around a few steps further, and I'll put the carbon brushes to one side safely. This is the cleaned and washed cooling fan with the bearing removed. It just pulls off nicely and then goes back down like so, like that, with that bit pointing down. Then we need our second new bearing, and because I've polished this shaft, it should mostly, there you go, just push straight down and into place like so. Tweak, that's it. Little tiny gap in between the cooling fan and that, but that's not too critical at the minute. We can work around that. Then we can push this into our bottom bearing, and the whole thing will feel a bit iffy at the minute, but that's fine. We now need to work over to our top plate, and we have our metal washer, which needs to sit flat at the bottom. Come on. Maybe it isn't metal. No, it's not metal washer first. I'm lying to you. It's felt washer. I can see the mouldings now. Then the spring. Then the metal washer. So the metal washer compresses down onto everything. Ugh, oh my goodness. Then holding everything in place. Bear in mind that it only goes on two ways, and you need to have this pointing away from this part. If you imagine it's going to be sat in the machine like that, or like that to you, so, and the bulb's got to shine up here. So, oh, it's falling out now. I'll show you when I'll do it. So by process of elimination, it needs to go on like that. And then eventually you'll get it all together. Look, see, that would be perfect, apart from this spring. We can put the screws in. And there we go. Everything is in place. Check now that everything spins really smoothly, which this one does. But if it doesn't, you know, something soft, little tappy tap either side really centres these up well. There we go. As long as nothing's scraping, nothing's catching, you'll be okay. Right, the next thing to do is to put the wash, that's the wrong washer, the little metal washer, then the rubber bit, and then the fan. With everything working jolly nicely and smoothly, we will put the carbon brushes in now. I washed the holders and I've given the brushes a wipe down, so hopefully they will never jam again. Now these should just sort of go down smoothly. They will need a little bit of a helping hand, but you know, if it's tight all the way down, you've got a problem. Stop and adjust your spring holders. Then I'm holding that down with my finger, and again, you take your time over this. Push that little tiny fragile brass tab down, just enough to hold the spring in. That's not as much as it can go, but that's fine. It doesn't need to go any further than that. So, oh, this one's been pushed down a bit. Look, oh, I snapped so many of these over the years. Oh dear. Right, then yeah, put the screwdriver through the spring, push down, and it all goes loose further down. That's fine. These springs haven't got that much life in them, although they've probably got several years. If you daily drove this machine, you'd go through them, but that's not going to happen nowadays. There we go. So, we have put most of all of that back together. You can now hear the brushes touching there. Now, we need to go and get some silicone out. Now, this might look controversial, but I have seen Hoover do this from the factory and peeled off original white silicone. And yeah, all we're doing is, I mean, it looks a bit messy because the hard bit that was stuck in the tube came out there. But it doesn't really matter because it's this lip here that is going to push into that groove. Everything's going to squeeze out nicely. And then we can get our clips and put one there, one here, and one I put all the way around on this side, back here. The hose will sort this out, and the big cable tie that it comes with. And yeah, you know, if we can go fancy and get a wet wipe, let's take it out of the vise now. There we go. Get a wet wipe and, you know, clean the joint off. I'm not going to use it for a while now. I've still got the rest of the machine to put together. But that is essentially, I mean, we've now got to smash the bellows on and find a cable tie to do that. But that is effectively how I restore Hoover Turbopower motors. All you need is some very cheap 608ZZ bearings to replace these. These are going to be knackered, regardless of if they spin or not. The thing's 40 years old. Ah, wait, we do need to put this all on. And because we sort of A, have our little blue line of hope, and B, know that this bulb holder here starts the whole process and clips into place there. The red wire only reaches to here, which is correct. I have checked the photographer that we did earlier on. Then you can do what you want, really. You can put the wiring loom up there and, you know, clip it into place nicely there. Then as you follow it around, this only fits here, where you just squeeze the clip and push it into place. And then this will only fit here onto this side of the coil wire, that lining up there, and there we go. Right. Just got to get the rest of the machine back together now. At least I can add that to the bag. With that, and these, although we're keeping the original brush roll. This is the original brush roll. This is one that I found in the shed, and it's not quite as splayed out, but it is softer. So they're both not great, but I'm going to be keeping its one that it came with. A short time later, we find ourselves here with the machine pretty much back together by the hood. And I thought this would be a cool chance to show you what, the inside of a Turbopower 1 looks like. This is the only change from this bit upwards. This is all the same, and how does it run? There is no brush roll fitted. We'll do that next with brand new bearings. Perfectly well indeed. Fantastic. So that works well. The next thing we will do is get the hood on, because I want to get this back together. Although we're not going to finish it in this scene. You'll have to wait for the next scene. I'll have to wait until next week, because I bought it a thing. As you can tell, it's missing its back cord hook, which is phenomenally common, and I don't have any. I've had lots in the past, but I don't have any now. Luckily, Mr. Steve from the Vintage Appliance Emporium YouTube channel 3D prints new ones, and I remember him doing it a little while ago, and he's the only listing on eBay. So we've taken a punt, and when that arrives, we'll smash that on. But we can get this on. I just need to find where that new belt went. Now, here we go. Gosh, this is going to be difficult while keeping you in shot and keeping this on the rug so I don't scrape everything out of the way. Right, here it is. This is going to be fun. Fitting a new belt to a Turbopower always is. Non-clutched Dyson belt will work in not even a pinch really. It works pretty well, but we have a genuine belt, and this is the tricky part. You've got to get this into its slot. Oh, hey, practice. Oh no, it's not in there properly. Into its slot without trapping your fingers in all of this sharpness, and then we'll give it a good rotate. There we go. Genuine Hoover. There's stuff there. Who knows? Who cares? We can put the base plate on. Huzzah! And then once the base plate is on, we'll give it another test and see what it sounds like. Then with that taken care of, we can plug it back in and see how she sounds now. Nothing wrong with that at all, because of course half of the horrible sound it would have had before would have been from the brush roll. Those bearings were very dry. I managed to work out a way to re-grease them actually, and who knows if it'll work. Hopefully it will. It's about all you can do. See, I do always say, take the belt off and check how the motor runs, especially on things like juniors, where it could be 50-50. Right, so that worked. Marvellous. Now we've just got to wait for the post from Mr. Steve to arrive. Right, the last job that I want to do to this machine involves being buried right down in here, because a lovely package arrived from Mr. Stephen from the Vintage Appliance Emporium. Mr. Stephen knocks out lovely looking Turbopower 1 lower cord hooks, prints them himself. So that's pretty good to see, because ours is broken. And I've not been looking forward to this too much, have we, Phoenix? No, because doing a Turbopower cord hook isn't nice, and the whole process may not get filmed because it's so fiddly and takes so long. So I pushed that clip down. There we go. I've now got my screwdriver under and pulled it up. So this is the spring clip, and now, in theory, push it down, our cord hook comes out, or what's left of it anyway. And they're very similar. Well, the bits that are left from each of them anyway. Oh, there we go. Look, nice moulding on there. It's the same thickness, same size. It should, in theory, try and do this so you can see, slots into there just like the original, which is excellent. Phase 1 done. Oh, blimey, let's brush the dust off of this and start with phase 2. We put the bottom end in first, then grab this lip on here, pull it out just enough to push. I did it under there, and that should be, in theory, our cord hook fitted. Yeah, it hasn't got a springy spring, but it flops back in and doesn't flop out, not that you can see from this very specific camera angle. So that is excellent news. Our Turbopower Junior has a lower cord hook once more. This can go in the bin. We'll get it back together and do some more vacuuming to celebrate a done restoration. Basking in these beautiful carpet lines. Nothing does quite groom a carpet like a Hoover Turbopower. We can do what this machine hasn't been able to have done for a long time and wind the cable up as nature intended. And once more, this lovely electricity board special Hoover is done, ready to go home to its owner and show him what he's not seen it do since he's owned it, probably. That's the problem with Turbopowers. If you get them when they're already knackered, you're going to have a bad experience with them. But you won't know that until you have an experience with one which is good. So, what do you think? Let me know down below of what you think of how this has come out. And the lower cord hook, very reasonably priced as well, came pretty quickly and fits perfectly. It's in black, just like Mother Hoover used to do back in the 90s anyway. So that's fine. And again, in 2024, short of finding a used one in the right colour, it's the best you're going to get. So another vacuum cleaner done. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I and some other tatty Turbopower will see you soon. Bye bye.